Hi, I'm James Hollis, retired Paralympic swimmer and now performance lifestyle practitioner with British Paralympic shooting. Back in 2019, we did a written piece for Mental Health Awareness Week around what mental health meant to my transition from sport, and we're revisiting this 5 years later to see what's changed and how best we can support athletes. So I had a really long transition from the sport. It took me quite a while, where I tried lots of different roles, from strength and conditioning, working in a school, and now performance lifestyle coach. Started off with a university program and stepped into the UKSI in 2022 when there was a large recruitment campaign, and PL became a really fundamental part of the delivery for all sports. My experiences of mental health as an athlete were around a really reactive space, and when we started to notice things weren't going well or things got a little bit more difficult, then we would almost step in and try and act. It was still at a time when it was really difficult to talk about mental health, and there was a stigma attached to it that we didn't want to admit when we were struggling. Now, with so much has changed, where not only are we more comfortable talking about it and dealing with cases as they arise, but we're working a lot more in the proactive and positive space. So back in 2019, I contributed to what was the mental health blog with the EIS at the time, and we spoke a lot around understanding what our mental health needed to get us back to that normal space and that bandwidth in which we can perform. That's changed massively now, in the sense that we've got very, very good at the reactive cases. We have mental health leads in each sport that sit with our working groups. We have really great pathways in which athletes can go and get help, which wasn't the case necessarily when I was retiring from the sport. As I've dug into who I am and what my identity is, I've got a lot better at understanding how that helps me to put into practice a strategy that's going to keep me at my best. What I didn't know as an athlete, and what I am working towards knowing now as a practitioner, sits around two main areas. Firstly, internally understanding myself and understanding how my identity and how my habits and how my thought processes contribute to my own mental health and well-being, so that I can put in place strategies that mean I'm going to be at my best. The second is around some of the research that's been done in this space and what does positive mental health really look like. The idea that the brain predicts a lot of the things that are going on around us. So we might not necessarily experience the stress, it might not happen, but the fact our brain has predicted that it could means that a level of stress has already occurred, and understanding the role that our brain has in that. When I was an athlete, I had some really great people, whether that was performance lifestyle coaches, psychologists, a multitude of multidisciplinary staff members who themselves wanted to help and wanted to support me as much as they possibly could. But there didn't seem to be a huge pathway or network that could work together to best support me as an athlete. Now, I work in multiple mental health working groups. When I start a new role, I'm inducted into how this referral pathway works. Our doctors, our psychologists, our mental health leads from the central UKSI team all work together to best support the athlete, and we can bring those caseloads to each other to come up with the best solutions possible. So I was really fortunate in 2022 to take a little sabbatical from the real world and go back to swimming for a year, where I got to compete at the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. Within about a week of getting back from Birmingham, I fell down a hill in Wales and shattered my left arm. This put me at a bit of a difficult situation in moving well, where I was very limited in, I wasn't able to swim, there was lots of things in the gym that I couldn't do, and for a period I went from being almost a high-level athlete back to not doing anything, and that physical transition really affected me. I wasn't able to do as much training and things as I would have liked to, which I found really difficult, which in turn led me to basically not doing any exercise for a year, And I really struggled with that. I struggled with the idea of putting on weight. I struggled with the idea of not being as fit as I was. And it was, I had very limited ways of letting out some of the stress that I got from work or I got from life. I was forced into a huge change in how I moved and how I was able to participate in physical activity. Movement is massively important for my mental health, and it's massively important for dealing with my impairment as well.